Welcome! This is our class number 11. Today we are going to continue our previous classes where we were talking about houses and apartments, remember? So let's continue to see some advertisements, right? Last class we saw apartments for rent, right? And today we are going to see a few houses, okay? Follow me then. So now Paul is looking for a house to rent. He's reading the ads. So advertisement or ad number 1. It's an old house downtown. Convenient location, near market and subway. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, needs maintenance. 800 reais per month. Okay, so if we look at the picture here, this house is a little shabby, right? Seems old. It says here, needs maintenance, right? So it's probably a house where you have to do some remodeling. So if you're going to rent this house, you have to work on it a little bit, okay? But it has a very convenient location, right? It's near the market, it's near the subway station, so it has good points, right? Advantages and disadvantages. Let's see one more. Now this second house says comfort in the mountains, beautiful view, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, seasonal or yearly rentals, 1,500 reais a month. So see, this one is a house by the mountains, right, in the mountains, and you can rent it all year long. It means yearly rental, means you can rent for 1 year, or you can rent only for the season. For example, if you go on vacation and you want to rent this house, you can rent it for 1 week or 1 month or a few days, okay? This means seasonal rental. Seasonal because only one season, a vacation, during the summer, okay? Something like that means a seasonal rental. And yearly rental is when you rent all year long, okay? Now, remember last class we learned evaluations with nouns, right? So we started these classes, this series of classes, talking about evaluations and comparisons using adjectives, remember? So it was 2 classes ago. 2 classes before we saw evaluations and comparisons with adjectives. Last class we saw how to use nouns to evaluate, right? We saw the difference between an evaluation with a noun and an evaluation with an adjective. And today we are going to see comparisons with nouns, okay? But first, let's review what we saw 2 classes before, which was comparisons with adjectives, remember? So we use as plus adjective plus s to say that 2 things are equal. They have similar characteristics, right? And if I use the sentence in the negative, it's going to mean that they are different. One is better than the other, one is more convenient, okay? So let's see some examples here. An apartment is just as comfortable as a house. So they are equal, right? An apartment and a house, they are both comfortable. An apartment is just as comfortable as a house. Or houses aren't as safe as apartments. Now it is in the negative, so means that apartments are safer than houses. Apartments are safer than houses. So houses aren't as safe as apartments, okay? So these are comparisons with adjectives. Now, and when we have nouns, can we use SS to compare with nouns? Yes, we can. Let's see the difference now. Comparisons with nouns. So we use as much plus non-count noun plus s. So to make a comparison with nouns, the first thing we have to worry about is this noun is countable or uncountable, okay? Is it a count noun or a non-count noun? Let's see some examples here. An apartment has as much privacy as a house. So this means apartments and houses, they are both very private, right? They are both very private. So an apartment has as much privacy as a house. So privacy is uncountable. I cannot count privacy. So I use as much privacy as. Okay? Another example. Apartments don't cost as much as houses. Apartments don't cost as much as houses. So look here. In this case now, we are saying that they are different, right? Houses are more expensive than apartments. So apartments don't cost as much money as houses, okay? So here actually the noun here is missing, right? Would be money. So it's normal to use sentences with cost when we use the verb to cost, and we can omit the noun money, okay? So it means apartments don't cost as much money as houses, okay? So the noun here would be money, but it's missing because it's normal to omit this noun, okay? But the structure is the same. We have to do the structure as if we had the noun here, okay? So apartments don't cost as much as houses. Apartments don't cost as much money as houses, okay? Now, when the verb is countable, when the noun is countable, we have to use and we have a count noun, we're going to use as many as, okay? Let's see an example here. The apartment doesn't have as many bedrooms as the house. The apartment doesn't have as many bedrooms as the house. So now, as I used it in the negative, so means that the house has more bedrooms, right? The house has more bedrooms. So the apartment doesn't have as many bedrooms. Why? Because bedrooms I can count, right? 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. That's why I used as many as, okay? Now, let's see here some examples of comparisons using those advertisements we saw at the beginning. So, let's compare house 1 and house 2 regarding bedrooms, okay? Let's consider bedrooms. Let's see here in the advertisement. House 1 has 3 bedrooms. And how many bedrooms are there in house 2? Only 2 bedrooms. So they are not the same. Means the sentence has to be in the negative. Remember, if I'm going to use as and the comparison is not equal, right? If the two things that are being compared are not the same, they have different characteristics, then we have to use the sentence in the negative. Let's see here the example. House 2 doesn't have as many bedrooms as house 1. House 2 doesn't have as many bedrooms as house 1. So it's in the negative because they are different. And also we use as many as because bedrooms is a count noun. Okay, bedroom is a count noun. Let's see another example. Now let's compare both houses regarding bathrooms, okay, concerning bathrooms. Now house 1 has 2 bathrooms and house 2 has 2 bathrooms too. Both have 2 bathrooms, okay? They both have 2 bathrooms. So, how to compare? First, it's going to be in the affirmative, okay? Affirmative. Why? Because they are the same. They have the same number of bathrooms, right? So, we're going to say house 1 has as many bathrooms as house 2, or house 1 has just as many bathrooms as house 2, okay? They are the same. Okay, let's practice them. Now, a house has more rooms than an apartment. A house has more rooms than an apartment. Okay, now I want to do the same comparison but using as, okay? So look, a house has more rooms than an apartment. So first of all, they are not the same, right? The house has more rooms. They have different characteristics. So it has to be in the negative. First thing we know. Now, rooms. Rooms is a count noun, right? I can count rooms. So I'm going to use as many as, right? As many rooms as, and the sentence goes in the negative. So, an apartment doesn't have as many rooms as a house. An apartment doesn't have as many rooms as a house, okay? Now, house 2 is more expensive than house 1. House 2 is more expensive than house 1. Again, the comparison is not between two similar things. They are different, right? So first thing we know is that this sentence has to be in the negative. Because now I want to use cost. The verb to cost, remember when we use to cost, we can omit the noun money, okay? It's not necessary to use the noun money, but the structure is exactly the same as if we were using the noun, okay? So, house 1 doesn't cost as much as house 2. House 1 doesn't cost as much as house 2, or house 1 doesn't cost as much money as house 2, okay? So money is non-count, right? It's a non-count noun. It's not countable. So I use as much as, right? Money is not countable. They are different, so the sentence is in the negative, okay? Now, houses have more parking spaces than apartments. Houses have more parking spaces than apartments. Let's use as now. Now, first thing, parking spaces. Can I count them? Yes, I can. So I'm going to use as many parking spaces as, right? Are they similar or different? So houses have more parking spaces, so they are different. Sentence goes in the negative, and I'm going to use as many as, right? So, apartments don't have as many parking spaces as houses. Apartments don't have as many parking spaces as houses. Okay, now, an apartment is just as private as a house. An apartment is just as private as a house. So they are equal, they are the same. In this case, the new sentence is going to be also affirmative, right? I'm going to use as, and it goes in the affirmative now. And I want to use the noun privacy. So private is an adjective, right? As private as. But now I want to use privacy, and privacy is a noun. Can I count privacy? No, I cannot. So I have to use as much privacy as much as. So the sentence is in the affirmative because they're equal, and privacy is a non-count noun, so I'm going to use as much as. So, an apartment has just as much privacy as a house. An apartment has just as much privacy as a house. Okay, folks, so that was it for today. I'm going, soon you can go to my website, www.professormarcondes.com.br. You can download our third exercise list, solve the exercises, and next class I'm going to correct these exercises with you, okay? So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys are liking these classes. If you can, please give me some feedback, some thumbs up at the bottom of the video, okay? I'm going to appreciate that. Thank you very much. See you next class.